Alrighty, fellow warriors, generals, tacticians, and strategists, welcome back to another episode of Tactical Enlightenment. One of the greatest parts of Bannerlord is the vast detail and variety of landscapes, cities, castles, and towns the game provides for us to explore. Most are unique and many are just stunningly beautiful, essentially allowing us to step back into time and wander the dirt roads of villages from 1,000 years ago. Still, even greater than their beauty is their use for you in the game as tactical arenas, locations where your greater tactical execution and advanced strategies can be put to work as we seek more and more diabolical ways to vanquish our enemies. In this new series, we explore some of my favorite villages, both from the perspective of their sheer beauty and exploration, but more importantly, as ideal places to massacre your foe when you are in a tough spot. Alright friends, welcome back again to another episode of Tactical Enlightenment. Our YouTube channel is dedicated to all things tactically related, but especially Bannerlord, and we have put ourselves in a bit of a pickle here. I say that because we intentionally raided this village to draw Vlandian attention, this interesting village here, and we have alerted the dogs of war. One of the armies, actually, they lost their cohesion right before they attacked us. But nevertheless, it looks like they're pouring in for battle. Of course, we have our usual suspects here. This extraordinarily high level, extremely late game campaign army stacked with powerful troops, right? I want to make sure everybody understands that up front. Sometimes guys are like, oh, your army's way too strong, whatever. I've never had an army that strong, etc., etc. It's a very late game campaign. But very frequently we're also fighting enemies. Like, let's take a look at their enemies. Look at this shit. 167 sharpshooters this gal has, 37 Battanian wildlings. I mean, you can make a list. Vanguard, 26 banner knights. I mean, this is stacked armies we're fighting here. 34 sharpshooters, 24 more banner knights, 22 vanguard. You can go on and on and on. 206 sharpshooters. This one guy has 206 sharpshooters. So you combine them, what do they have? 350 sharpshooters with just those two guys alone? I got 89 Battanian Fiend champs, right? So just one after another, these armies are completely stacked, and that is because of a mod we're using that makes our enemy tougher. That army is actually sort of rudimentary, but again, 33 banner knights, more sharpshooters. Basically, we're fighting an almost entirely tier 5 and tier 6 army, and we're outnumbered 3-1. We will use normal player damage for this, but this series is designed to show you interesting villages that you can retreat to and potentially do tactics to help you win. So look at this village. This village has all kinds of tactical opportunities, right? There's buildings you can hide behind. There's water. There's hills all over the place. It's a very interesting map. And I think we're going to be able to do some devastating tactics in this episode. So we're going to assign a cav wall on the left there and guard the archers. We don't have near as many archers as they do, so we're going to have to be very tactically smart here. Otherwise, we're going to get annihilated at range. We do have this third corps. This is a very, very elite division, including high-level companions and shock troops, right? There's lots of shock troops, and they're led by Zuvan, right? With this incredibly long list of combat bonuses. You can see his stats, right? He's basically like a maxed-out combat beast. Let's see, we'll also put archers over here and skirmishers. I like to put archers and skirmishers behind the shock troops there. That way, as the enemy cav is slowed down, we can butcher them, right? Shock troops and a lot of these skirmishers have javelins, and then archers behind them. And then I've got 4 guys in the 7th division. Those are just a handful of horse archers. They won't play that much of a role. All right, so what's my plan here, right? We want to pick a fight. I want to fight the enemy in detail here. If I can, I'm going to try to bait their cavalry. Look at this fucking huge army we're facing. It's picturesque. I mean, it's just a giant fucking wall, and it's almost all crossbow in the middle there. It's 450 crossbow, and then they have 100 plus wings of heavy cav on the sides. Well, I'm gonna bait them. Let's see if we can't pick a fight here. I'm gonna charge in aggressively. I'm gonna throw javelins insolently into the face of their commanders, and we'll see if we can't arouse some attention. In fact, I already hear them screaming and yelling. We've definitely alerted the war dogs here. Their cav is rushing in. Now we just got to keep them on the leash, right? I'm going to stay kind of tauntingly close to these guys. I'm basically going to lure these fucks into a death trap. Our units are on hold fire here, and we basically want to lure them in and then unleash hell. Those are not our bolts, I don't think. No, our guys aren't shooting. Here comes the enemy. All right. So 3rd Division, these shock troops charge. They're going to obliterate any cav they can get a hold of. And now we open fire, right? All these pent-up units, they can't move. They're going to get shot to fucking pieces. Our cav line is holding out brilliantly there. Get this 1st Division involved as well. I'll pull them closer to the action there, and then these guys can charge as well. And as of yet, I don't see their crossbow coming up yet. Part of the reason is because the ridge we're on prevents them from shooting until they get close, right? And so if they're approaching, even if they're getting close, they still can't shoot. Let's kill this lord. 376 damage that guy took? You gotta be shitting me. Kill this bitch here. I think that's theirs. Yeah, they got a horse archer gal. She's dodging and juking very well. We'll have to just cut her down with our spear. Oh, that was a dude. He needs to lift some weights. All right, let's conserve some arrows here, and let's finish off this cav. I see no sign of the enemy crossbow. They're just holding back. And so we're going to annihilate their heavy horse here. This was like 200 and something banner knights and vanguard just getting put into the ditch. Oh shit, they are shooting us. So they're shooting, but they're a long ways away, right? They're not going to do major damage, and we have shield walls guarding. So they're shooting already from there. We might have to lure these guys in. I got an idea here. Here's what we can do. To get this crossbow to attack us, right, we need to reduce their line of sight so they can't see us. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to make all of our units into a square, and we're going to jam into a big Tokyo subway kind of knot right here at the base of this big boulder. You see how the enemy is on the other side of that. What I'm hoping is that they won't be able to get line of sight, and they'll be forced to approach us. I'm going to grab this shield here, this nice big shield. No javelins at all. A lot of times, of course, my companions pick them up. I've just started to realize that my greedy companions will happily pick up all of the javelins, right? Which I guess is good, but I would still prefer they leave a few for the Jarl. All right, so I think they'll approach. If they don't approach, we'll change tactics. But the enemy attacked us here. They cornered us at this village. What's this guy doing? Get back to fucking... Look at these guys are like anxious to fight. Let's pull these guys back in. I don't know why they think they can do whatever they want, but we're gonna pull them over here. God, they're like unruly dogs. If you don't put them on a short leash, they just fucking tear up the whole yard. All right. There we go. They're nicely tightly packed in, but for some reason or other, the enemy's just content. I mean, maybe they heard the screams of their banner knights being ripped apart over there, and now they're a little hesitant to attack. So here's what I'm gonna do. I guess if they approach, there's some chance that they just won't approach. This guy's not helping. He's like off the side here, getting shot at. Stupid fuck. What I'm planning on doing, essentially, is ambushing the enemy as they come up to this rock, right? This rock here hurts their line of sight. Enemy archers, crossbow in this case, mostly crossbow, have to have line of sight. I shouldn't say mostly crossbow. They probably have a lot of Battanian Fiend champs, right? I saw 89 in one of the armies. There's 17 in another. They might have 200 to 300 Battanian Fiends. Way more than we do, right? And not just Fiends, but Fiend champions. I can't really see them down there. Anyways, so they have like 500 archers, and obviously if we just try a range battle or any kind of traditional battle, we're going to get skewered. So what we have to do is lure them close to us and then spring the trap, right? I've got these archer divisions here. I'm not sure whether or not I want them pre-spread out, because I think the edge of this ridge isn't quite steep enough. You see how these guys can be seen from that ridge? I think in a perfect world, we would keep these archers tightly packed until the last minute. And what that would do is it would force the enemy to come right up to this very edge of the ridge. Now, if they try to flank us, of course, we'll attack. The only place they can flank us is our right, because our left, of course, is water. So the water protects our left flank, and they are starting to move up. They're very hesitant to approach, and you can understand after that evisceration of their heavy cav. In fact, it looks like the archers and crossbow were like, hey, send in the rest of the cav first, boss. Would you just send in the rest of the guys? Soften them up a little bit before we get massacred. And I don't blame them. But these guys have no archer support. Their crossbow, I don't think, can even attack us here. So we're just going to annihilate these banner knights and whatnot. At least push them out of here. We're more than happy to fight. Oh shit, that guy's in a spear brace. He just killed somebody's horse. Oops, and I just killed somebody's horse. Well, we're losing horses left and right, but that's alright. Oh, here they come. Okay, so they're leading with cav, kind of as a distractionary attack. Where are these guys going? Get back here. Very shortly, we're going to spring this trap. I'm going to leave the 4th Corps there. I'm going to stretch the 5th out on our right here, and then we're going to pull cav and the 8th Corps, which is mostly elite knights, hard to our right, and we're going to envelop the enemy. If the enemy's over there trying to flank us, of course, we'll attack that direction. Here comes their infantry. See, I'm happy for their infantry to attack us. We have very tough infantry, and it's in a big square. It's in a big knot, right? Come and get it, boys. These guys are more than welcome to come and get it. What I'm keeping an eye on are their hundreds of crossbow and archers, and they have gotten to a vulnerable state. So let's pull up here. Let's do some flanking. Let's grab this 6th and 8th, or 8th and 2nd Corps. Oh shit, they are starting to flank. And let's attack these motherfuckers here. Let's pull them all the way to the enemy's far left. And then we're gonna barrel in on these archers. Yeah, we beat you to the flank, didn't we, you fucks? Look at they're panicking. They're starting to get trucked by heavy cav. Archers don't like that. They're actually kind of tightening up into a knot here, which is fatal. Now we open fire. Our archers are going to absolutely rain death into their ranks. Their units are sort of scrambling around looking for a line of sight, and ours are already shooting. And you can see the results, right? It's just fucking Vlandian sharpshooters being sent into the dirt. Alright, let's start attacking with units here. They don't seem deterred? Fine. We charge with infantry, charge with our 6th, charge with our shock troops. Let's get some meat on these guys here. Those archers are firing away. They're doing good work. The 8th Corps is in here with me. That's, again, our elite knights. I gotta avoid getting shot to pieces here. Look at how many fucking Battanian... It's the whole fucking army. Seems like it's Battanian fiend champs. This is probably the strongest singular army, at least as far as strength, that I've ever faced. And they're starting to regroup here. They got some reinforcements. But look at this shit. The whole army is sharpshooters and Battanian fiend champs. I mean, this is a gnarly army. If you want to know how you get armies like this in Bannerlord first, it's an extra late game campaign. We're going to have everybody pull back here. We're definitely not charging them while their reinforcements are assembling. But the other thing going on here, besides very mature kingdoms, is the enemy has a mod. They're using a mod that's called Lord, what is it? Lord Retinue Up Tier, right? And Retinue, it's basically like the troops that fight with the Lord. All of the units in this Lord's army are much stronger, right? Alright, let's do some more dynamic tactics here. What else we got here? We got these barns we can hide units behind, and then we've got we've got hills to our right where we can get archers in a flanking attack. Archers and cav to charge down on the enemy. I don't know if we'll be able to lure the enemy into this kind of a trap, but if we can, it's going to be devastating. So I'll pull, let's see, I'll pull the 4th, 5th, and we'll bring the 2nd and 8th up here onto this wall. I think we can kind of get tucked into the deep nooks and crannies here where they won't be able to reach us with arrows. We'll be too far away, and the enemy will be forced to attack one of our 2 units, right? They'll be forced, they're pouring in aggressively. Of course, we're outnumbered 3-1, right? So they're very eager to attack. I still see the 411 archers, right? They still have a massive amount of sharpshooters and fiend champs. And we're just going to take the high ground here and see what the enemy does. just to finish that point, it's called Lord Retinue Up Tier, and it makes the troops of your enemy lords upgrade and turn into elite units much faster. And obviously the result is this kind of battle. They are completely exposing themselves. Fuck these guys. These guys are dead men. All right, putting archers in two big wide swaths here. We're going to set the second cav down here to give them a distractionary shield wall. I'm dragging the 8th Corps. What are these guys charging? Fuck them. Charge them. Our infantry charges, 3rd Division charges, the 6th Corps can be dragged out here onto the side, and we're happy to charge. They just fucking totally charged the Lion's Den. I mean, we're outnumbered, but look at this enfilade fire now. We're charging with cav. We've got archers already raking them with broadsides. The enemy is fucked. I don't care how many cavalry they have. They're all fucking dead men. Bring all your cav. You guys are fucking dead. I mean, we're going to suffer losses here because of the strength of the enemy, but what a devastating position we have on them. Our archers are just absolutely raining fire into here. Our infantry's boring into the enemy. Our cav is attacking them from behind. The enemy's totally in a scrum now. They're like reforming. I mean, they got some guts. They're charging and shit, and I see a lot of death spam. Of course, we're gonna lose units to this kind of an assault, but man, is the enemy in a bad spot here. And of course, we're going to fight this out, right? They're ways away from their reinforcement tranche. If we do get reinforcements, it'll be right here or near here in the midst of the enemy, right? So we are going to slug this out. It's all Battanian Fiend Champs. Every guy killed, Battanian Fiend Champ, Battanian Fiend Champ. What a stacked army. But it's getting stacked into the dirt is what it's getting. Look at these guys are trucked against the wall. Just crush that guy against the fence. Let's fucking bore in here as infantry. Let's charge with our 8th Corps. I think we just got reinforcements. Let's charge the archers and hold fire. That way they're straight melee. We want these guys just going crazy, foaming at the mouth. Look at now they're starting to break. You guys are out of here, huh? And of course they're Battanian Fiend Champs, right? You got to be careful. These guys will fuck you up. Right now, though, we're the one doing the fucking here. This is a fucking disaster for the enemy. They're trying to retreat into the teeth of our troops. Now we can have these archers that are pursuing attack. Fuck. Motherfucker. I got a javelin for your punk ass. Fucking slash me. Alright. Again, we're going to hold this edge here. We do not want to come down into that valley. Look at what they have down there, right? They have a huge amount of archers down there. I need a horse. We're going to peel our units around the corner here and set up our next diabolical plan, right? We're going to continue to do tactics. And this town, this little village, is just amazing for tactics, right? There's so many different opportunities to flank. All right, here we got to do something. I'm going to use 2nd Cav to shield our troops out of here. The enemy's rocketing up with heavy cav. I got a bunch of shock troops right here. You know what we're going to do? We're going to do another Peekaboo Ridge right here. This is just too good to pass up. The enemy's boring in very aggressively. We'll put an infantry square at the front, cav shield next to the infantry square, and archers back here with great line of sight so that anything that comes over that ridge, including all that heavy cav, will be absolutely annihilated. Here they come. They're just like, again, they're just charging the fucking Lion's Den. And look at the withering fire. I mean, it's just arrows mauling them. Now our infantry's fucking charging. The 8th Corps can be told to charge. Look at them just getting killed on the way out. I mean, the enemy is taking an absolute beating here. It's the proverbial woodshed, right? They are just being beaten over and over again. If we have 100 casualties to this stage, I'd be surprised. Crossbowmen are just annihilating everything in sight. And we're just going to hold this position here and see what the enemy does. Again, you see the beauty of this ridge. This ridge right here, the enemy can't hit us. They can't see us. They can't shoot at us. And of course, if they want to attack us in melee, we're more than welcome to, because we're going to have archer support. This is indeed a Peekaboo Ridge or decline slope strategy. Right? This is something I talk about a lot. They're charging up again with infantry. These guys are just absolute dead men. I mean, yeah, okay, the infantry is going to be able to attack us, but now our archers can be told to fire. Right? These guys are going to get fucking mangled. Now they're fucking changing their mind. And here's the thing, the enemy, unless they do something dramatic, like a wide flank attack, really trying to turn our flank, they're fucked here, right? These archers, they got all excited because they saw us, they started shooting. Well, we'll just pull back, right? We're just gonna sit on our ridge here. And if the archers do, okay, Cav is coming down here, that's fine. We can deal with these guys. It's still champions and vanguards, and it's all tier 5 units. What a stacked army. That, are those? I can't tell. I think that's crossbow, but we're going to open fire here. Let's pull these archers to the side. Again, it's a reverse slope defense. The Peekaboo Ridge, the enemy's skewered. They are charging in with a lot of cav. That represents a threat. We've got to kind of deal with it as we can. In fact, let's pull the second cav over to block for these guys. Open fire, boys. Let's light up everything in sight. Watch the death spam. It's going to just light up the screen. And let's see if their archers... Look at the enemy just getting destroyed. And let's see if their archers are nearby. We can charge their asses down. What do we got here? Let's pull an archer. They do. Their archers are packed up there too. All right, let's pull 2 cav divisions. We've got an archer division that we're pulling over to the tranche. We're going to envelop this enemy force. They're triple our size. We don't care. We're going to fucking circle around behind them and totally swallow them up. What I basically want to do is cut off their retreat and, of course, get heavy cav pounding them from behind. So let's charge with infantry. Let's hold them down here, right? If you want to really turn a flank and drive in on the enemy, you want the infantry boring in. That way it's harder for them to retreat. If they retreat, I don't know where they're going, but they're going in the absolute worst direction. This is good for us. The archers we just moved to flank them are right here, right in the enemy's face. And now, of course, we're dragging cav into the midst of this as well. I mean, the enemy is just... It's a little bit like a dance, and every time they make a move, I just fucking... have something pre-set up for them. I mean, this is a devastating series of tactics. Some battles go like this, and it's just an absolute throttling, one step after another. And we'll put some cav here and infantry towards this mass of archers. We don't need these 150, 200, whatever Fiend champs unloading on us. We're going to try to distract them. We're definitely taking a lot of damage here, right? They have high-level troops, but these archers are unimpacted. We've got that cav line that's doing a pretty good job of sort of distracting for the enemy. And now I think we're just going to bore in here. We have all these archers here. If we can get over the ridge, we can start shooting them as they retreat. Let's fucking charge in here. Maybe we can get the angle on them around one of these houses here. Need a horse again. Of course, I get off a horse, and almost as soon as I get off a horse, I'm like, I need a horse. Give me your horse. Kill you first. And now we flank their... Where'd they go? They're all regrouping? Is this whole army retreating? It is. This whole army is routing. That only happens when the enemy is completely fucking flabbergasted, demoralized. Yeah, you fucking kick you in the face. Fucking cowards. Look at them, they're just streaming off the battlefield. I mean, we did give them an absolute ass whipping, but they left like before half of their units were dead. They still have Battanian Fiend champs, and they're just running for the doors. Okay, well, nevertheless, that was the purpose of this episode, is to show you the potential savage tactics you can do on this map. Right, this whole series we're going to be continuing to explore really gnarly villages where you can make kind of a castle-like defense. Right, they're certainly not the same as a castle. You don't have a wall, you don't have catapults and shit like that, but they have really unique dynamic landscapes. It definitely favors ranged units and skirmishers, but I would say it also favors tactics, right? Because there's all this landscape to maneuver around. There's all these hills and water on this map. It's just very dynamic. All right, so we'll take some of these troops from them. And we'll continue on this series, right? We'll continue looking for interesting villages that I think can essentially act as a refuge for you, right? It's not the same as a castle. You always want to get to a castle if you're being chased. But essentially villages that, say you're being chased in the open field and you don't like where you are, it's like forest and you got a bunch of cavalry. It basically will give you some opportunity. I wonder if these guys are going to attack us. We're pretty heavily injured there, and they have a lot more troops than us, but I don't know. I don't know if they'll attack. Let's see. Okay, so these guys want some. You know what? Puffed up bandits. Yeah, we're puffed up bandits, dude. With that fucking bad haircut and a fucking bull fucking helm. Come get some, right? We're gonna do this again. These dipshits, they're barely favored on the power bar. I'm like astonished that these guys, I'm incredulous. This is unbelievable that these guys think that they can take us on after, what was it, 2,400 got sent running for the hills. Do they not see the hundreds of fucking terrified cowards running for the hills here? So nevertheless, of course, we know we could do all the same strategies, but let's add a little variety to this, right? Let's try some other shit. Let's basically explore some more pockets of this village here, and we will do some more tactics, right? We'll see what the enemy presents us. We've got a beautiful sunset here. I'm kind of packed up on my guys here a little bit. Out of the way, fellas. Let's bring this archer corps over here. And what an idyllic setting, right? What a beautiful village. I would pay a lot of US dollars to come visit this place, walking very gently. I wouldn't just trample their cabbage, right? We'd be very respectful. This beautiful place here. So they have a mixed army now. It's very mixed. They've got all kinds of different troops, cav, archers, 250 infantry. So they're probably going to play a lot more aggressively, which is just fine with us. I've got a couple ideas here. And I wonder if we can't just use essentially a sideways peekaboo ridge, right? These high hills over here should work. But what a beautiful scene. It's like it's like a commercial for Tail Worlds and Bannerlord. Sun just fucking, the rays coming through the trees. It's fucking beautiful. Alright, these hills here are definitely gonna work. This is a vast city map, too. Most cities' maps are small. This one is like the biggest city map I've ever seen. I mean, it just goes on and on. It's a gorgeous fucking map. Well done, Tail Worlds. Look at the enemies just pouring over through the water at us. They're acting like they're rabid or something. Come get some. You guys want some? What is this, horse archers? We're happy to kill you first. Yeah, you go ahead and run. Very poor decision. It's even more beautiful with some beheadings. Alright, let's drill a few of their nobles in the back with the javelins. Oh shit, I pull my infantry into the water here. Alright, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to use this high bank and basically set up a peekaboo ridge where the enemy's forced to come around, right? I can stick archers up here, the skirmishers up here, and tightly packed infantry around the base of these rocks at the bottom. And what'll happen essentially is the enemy will have to come over, usually it's around that ridge, and they will be mauled with arrows, right? They won't be able to get line of sight until they come around that ridge, and when they do, our guys will already be knocked, you know, arrows knocked and aiming, right? It's going to be a devastating volley. Of course, we have strong infantry, and we have more troops here because we're not outnumbered so bad. So we probably have 400, 450 troops on the battlefield. Now, I've got another dynamic element we're going to add to this. Is this the enemy? The enemy infantry is just coming up like one at a time. Well, they really are like rabid. You guys are acting crazy. Look at, they have a giant packed. Now, we could attack this too. They have a huge amount of, what is that, sharpshooters and infantry. They have just like troops everywhere. They're acting really erratic. Look at how reckless they are. They're charging like one guy on 200. No idea what they're doing, but again, usually it's AI, it's artificial imbecility here. So we'll confront these guys with infantry, but the real damage is going to occur once our archers start unloading, right? Once those guys, let's pack these guys a little tighter here. Once these archers get told to fire, it's going to just be devastating. Now here's what we're also going to do. I think this loop here goes around. I think we can go from here and get behind the enemy, right? We can get all the way behind them and ram right up their asses, right? Just a hammer and anvil, royal style, except, shit, the enemy's got a whole bunch of cav they held back. Well, never mind, so much for that. But you see the death spam, right? That's that peekaboo edge or peekaboo ridge there. It's just fucking annihilating their troops as they come around that corner. They have no chance, right? They're just going to get destroyed there. So we'll position this, let's see, the 2nd and 8th. We'll just put these guys towards the rear here to cut off what I believe will be eventually a retreat or a rout. Throw some javelins here, but I think we're going to enjoy this massacre over here. Look at these guys are trying to shoot, but a lot of them can't even get line of sight. Our archers are totally eviscerating their infantry. I can just fly in here and cut down some guys. Let's bring our cab back. If we can get our cab back in here, we should be able just to drive it right through. Get infantry moved up to start butchering their archers here. Their archers are just getting blasted from 4 different angles. Get out of here. You too. Catch a javelin, you fuck. Look at the death spam. See, they don't have elite troops this battle. We still have some Battanian Fiend champs left. Well, they have some sharpshooters, but they have a lot of scrub troops too. This is going to be, well, frankly, this is going to be over soon. They're charging in now with cav. This is a futile effort at this stage. Look at these infantry lines we have set up. We have archers on high ground behind them. I mean, this battle's over. They'll be reforming here real soon. Can't believe they haven't done it yet. We're gonna make some bad javelin throws here. And now they're finally starting to reform. I think. They keep roaring and charging, and then guys get cut down and they change their mind. They're like, no, it's not working still. I don't want to be here. Look at our infantry's just totally annihilated. Their infantry is now coming forward, throwing javelins. I mean, the archers are now behind. They're not helping us, but I don't think it matters. The enemy just got a huge wave of reinforcements. So we'll butcher the rest of these guys. But at this stage, it's academic. This battle's over. In fact, I think they're routing again. Look at these guys yeah, they definitely just routed again. That guy was routing in spear brace. That looked hilarious. He was gonna leave the battlefield with his spear up. All right. Well, another complete massacre on this beautiful map. And this map really is truly a beautiful map. I mean, look at this, 50 deaths, and they had, what, almost 600, almost 600. This map is amazing. Now, I don't think I've found any other towns or villages that look like this. I think this is a unique village here. Mareivan or Mareivan, or I can't remember actually the name. Of course, I'll post it in the details. But look at this beautiful map. I mean, I want to visit here. I definitely want to like stay the night in one of these cottages huddled by the fire with lice all over the place, right? But more importantly, like for tactics, for you and Bannerlord, if you're playing as Vlandia and Battania gives you a hard time or something like that, or say you're Battania and you're invading and Vlandia attacks you with a huge force, how do you not defend here, right? So anyways, let me know what you think of this series. We're going to continue this for a little bit. I'm having a great time doing it. We're going to try different cities, not cities, I keep calling them cities. Little villages. We'll keep looking for interesting villages to defend. If you want to see a certain village defended, let me know. If it's interesting, I'll give it a shot. I'm always up for requests. But what I'm going to try to do is basically show one village for each kingdom, right? So this is Vlandia. I might show a couple, especially if there's interesting villages, or more importantly, if it's a village that has tactical use, right? This Mareivan, even, or whatever it is kind of tucked in a corner of the map. It's not super useful unless you're obviously right nearby it. So I'm going to look for other little villages to defend. Let me know what you think, fellas, of this series. Of course, all the normal comments are awesome. I appreciate you guys. Please hit that like button. It helps draw more tacticians to the channel. Right? To be perfectly honest, my skill has improved dramatically from the friendly criticism of you guys. Right? You guys have helped make me better, and of course, I'm helping to make other players better. Right? This is an auto-catalytic environment where we're all getting better, having more fun, and probably cursing some fucking more. Right? All right, friends. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Bye. actually, it's already next time. I forgot I was going to do this. What we're going to do is we're going to do custom battles with these maps to basically show you that you don't need an elite army to maul the enemy tactically with these maps, right? We're basically going to have all the normal units except recruits, right? We don't want the scuzzy recruits on either side, and we're knocking the militia out for both sides. You can see these armies are relatively balanced as far as their unit composition, but this whole series, what we're going to do is we're going to give the enemy 90 extra troops, right? You can see they have 541, we have 451, and so they have, what is that, 20% more troops, right? We'll give them a decent, let's see. Actually, she's fine. Extra damage against mounted troops. We've got a lot of cavalry. So they've got a decent commander, and we'll show, again, this same village, Mareivan, something like that. We will have another defense here. And again, we're going to try to use some different tactics. Enemies across the way there. This water is really nice because it slows them down. You can actually use that water. I've done that before in some battles. But let's try this side over here, this elevation here. See all those houses they have to kind of wade through? It's a bit of a funnel for the enemy, right? They have to come through these houses, and as they do, hopefully we can pound them with ammunition, and then of course attack them in various ways with our infantry, with our skirmishers, etc. Now, you don't have to get this dynamic with your units, but I do encourage it, right? I do encourage guys use 7 or 8 units in battle because you just have so many more tactical opportunities. And I'll kind of explain what I'm doing and why I'm doing it in this custom battle. These are definitely supposed to be sort of more illustrative battles. Now, you notice all these guys here have the second cav all have javelins, right? I'm trying to set up a second cav division that specifically has javelins. Right, these guys will be defensive, but they'll also be throwing javelins. It's a wonderful advantage that the Aserai and the Sturgians have. I guess the Batanians too. These Jav Cav can be really useful when used correctly. Third Corps, of course, we're going to have a shock troop division. I like to, when I'm playing Sturgia, I like to have a big division full of these two-handed fucking murdering motherfuckers. It's really nice to have them because if you have protection for them and you use them correctly, again, it's incredibly devastating. First division is just going to be basic infantry, right? And that's going to be your defensive infantry. Not too many javelins in there, but that's going to be likely a square. I'm trying to pull some of these guys out into the skirmisher division. The skirmishers are the 6th Corps, and most of these guys have throwing weapons, right? You see the double, I love seeing double javelins, right? That means they're going to be throwing javelins for a while in this battle. More ammunition's always good. I never understood why some have just 1 javelins. It's like they're not strong enough to carry 2 or something. Fucking stupid assholes. Lift some weights. Anyways, so we're going to have 2 archer divisions, of course, the 4th and the 5th. And now it's just a matter of developing a concoction with these different units on this battlefield and seeing what we can do. Now, the 5th Corps you see is elite archers. I have that distinction here, and I will use them a little bit differently than I will the 4th Corps, the weaker of the 2 archer divisions. All right. So I see stuff like this, and my mind starts buzzing with ideas, right? I'm like, let's get creative. Let's figure out what we can do here, right? So we've got this 7th Cav. These guys have javelins. We want them towards the front because they're both defensive, but they're also going to be throwing javelins, right? So we want them up near the enemy. We want to use them to cut off the enemy Cav from charging our divisions, including this 3rd division, right? This shock division is vulnerable to enemy Cav. These guys will get speared and killed and spear braced, but they're also vulnerable to archers. Now, this 1st infantry here, this is beautiful. We can either use these guys in a shield wall or a square, but what I'd like to do in this battle is put them against a wall, right? If we can push them against the house and use that house, what'll happen is the enemy will be effectively only attacking 2 sides or 3 sides at most of that square. Then we can hammer the enemy. Of course, if they're drawn to that square, we'll be shooting them. We're getting javelins thrown in their back, and we'll really be able to take advantage of it. So you see the weaker archers are back towards the back of the force, and then this stronger 5th division will put closer to the enemy, right? These guys, we want these guys shooting early and often. We'll still be holding fire at times. This may or may not develop into a ranged duel, you know, a long range battle, but we'll see how it goes. And and the 6th Division skirmishers. It provides both a protective layer here for the archers, right? The enemy's got to fight to get through those guys, but obviously now you have 2 different lines of infantry throwing javelins that are also defending the archers, and a third advantage is they're both protecting those shock troops. Look at the enemy trying to charge, our shock troops, right? They have to get through Jav-Cav, and then even if they cycle around and do cycle charging, then they run into our skirmishers, right? They're just not going to have an easy time getting to our shock troops. It is a strange concept that you want to protect your shock troops, right? That doesn't make sense to some people. You're like, these are powerful units. They are vulnerable though, right? They'll get spitted on the end of a fucking cavalry lance, or they'll get shot to pieces by archers. Very important to protect these guys because they are devastating when used, in big bunches at the right time. All right, now we just wait the enemy to get killed here, right? We've got our square here. We're going to draw a lot of attention with that. We may do some cav flanking. We'll see. Now to start, we're going to have them in a shield wall. I want them up there absorbing arrows, but also slowing down the enemy charge. And again, don't forget, we're outnumbered 20% in this battle. So I'm luring the enemy in here with our other cav division. These are stronger cav, right? Sturgia doesn't actually have any weak cav. It's all, I want to say it's all tier 4 or higher. So I don't want these guys being shot and attacked too early. In fact, the enemy has some horse archers here. Actually, you know what? Fuck these guys. Fucking horse archers. Shooting us from the side. We can bring our cav division in here and at least chase these guys off. Maul a few of them and chase them out of here. Alright, so I'm watching the right flank over here. For some reason, I've lost my game volume. I apologize for that. Hopefully that doesn't, nobody really cares, right? Here I'll just simulate. Die, you bastard! Archers, spread! Archers, shield wall, spread, hold fire! There you go. We did some game simulation for you. I apologize for that. I apologize for my bad simulation here. And we are having a bit of a ranged battle, right? The enemy's having procrastinations about attacking us. They don't like our position, understandably, right? If I was on the other side here, I'd be like, yeah, our strategy is to come back another day when they don't have a position like this. The archers are now going to work, right? These guys are firing away here, all these tier 5 and tier 4 archers in our elite divisions here. They're just going to town, firing away. And at this stage, I don't need to do anything, right? We've got plenty of ammo. The Sturgeons, I think either 2 or 3 of their archer tiers, for sure their 4th and 5th tier, I think even their 3rd tier, has 2 quivers of arrows. That's unusual. And so one of the advantages you have as Sturgia is you have more ammo fire in a battle like this than the enemy. Right, we're facing Vlandian force, we're facing an Imperial force. They're going to have less arrows than we will. And you see the arrows are still raining in there, and I still see death spam, right? So I'm not urgent to do anything. As long as we're in a ranged battle, and we have the positioning that we do, this uphill with shield walls in front of us, and more ammo than them, right? That's a critical distinction. We can afford for our arrows to land in the dirt. They can't. They don't have as much ammo. We could shoot like 20 arrows each and still have the same ammo as them. In fact, you see the 5th Corps now is starting to get a little bit low in ammo. We're just going to move them back. I'm doing this so they're out of range. But, you know, we'll be bringing them back in, of course. Their cav is kind of sleepily charging over here like a bunch of clowns. This is like a hapless enemy performance here. You think you're getting on a horse, dude? I don't think so. Here, we'll simulate that. The guy gets killed. All right, we're still in a ranged battle here, but that's fine. The other thing to remember, of course, is a lot of times in situations like this, your back is against the wall, right? If you end up fighting in a village like this where you're badly outnumbered, that's probably going to be a situation where you can afford to be patient, right? The enemy, I'm trying to pick these arrows up, you know, the enemy outnumbers you or something, they have a stronger force. Obviously, you're going to be prone to being patient, because if we just all of a sudden started charging this foe, it's very likely we would lose, right? We need to use these advantages, and we need to be somewhat patient. Okay, their infantry starting to charge in. It's kind of hodgepodge, and of course I can't hear them. So we'll move them over in a square. Let's get our skirmishers moved over here. I want these skirmishers to be close, and then let's get that 5th Archer Corps back here, right? Let's get those archers that I had moved up high. We'll bring them down here. They can open fire. The enemy kind of has a mix of loose archers and infantry down here attacking our square, and that's just going to be a disaster for them. See, what I'm doing now is I'm moving the square facing away from us. That way our guys are literally shooting the enemy in the back. Now if they charge, look what they're charging, right? There's 2 rows of infantry, shock troops, and skirmishers. These guys are throwing their weapons as well. And they're working on that square. There's definitely going to be some deaths in there, right? I see the square jostling about. Not going to fight too much in this battle, right? I already have done kind of a few kills. Let's bring our heavy cav up now. We've kept them off to the left for a while. Let's have them charge and just kind of occupy their archers. And now we can start to maul their infantry with our infantry, right? It's time for shock troop action here. It's time for these guys to barrel in on the enemy. These guys are now attacking the enemy from behind. That's already been weakened, right? The enemy's been getting shot and javelins thrown in their back. Now our cav comes through and starts to charge their archers. Now their archers are going to do a number on our cav, right? They have like 150 archers. But the main thing we're doing right now is trying to knock some of these guys on their butt, try to occupy them a little bit so that they're not shooting our troops on the wall up there, right? We're trying to keep them busy while we slaughter their infantry vanguard. We're still dealing with some of their cav here. In fact, their infantry is actually doing a pretty good job. Wait a minute. No, they're not doing a good job. I thought they were like vigorously charging after our guys. No, what's happening is their infantry division just routed. And of course they did, right? They were being shot from behind. You know, they're like cursing their commander as they ran out of here. You stupid asshole, you had us charge the square. Now it's just going to be a matter of mopping up these archers, right? The enemy vanguard is destroyed. They don't have very many cav left, and we have a ton of troops. Frankly, I could get a little sloppy here at this stage, because this battle's over. We'll move cav up here in a big shield wall, and then just start getting enemies in the face of these archers. Suffer some losses on the way down here, but I think a rout is very near here. All right, so we defend this city, or this village here again with mediocre troops, right? I don't want people to have the impression that the reason that we're annihilating the enemy in all our battles is because of the strength of our army. That is a factor for sure, but tactics here clearly are valuable, right? We're defeating a force here that has 20% more troops than us. And frankly, we're defeating them badly, right? Even though we're suffering some losses here at the end as their archers kind of hold out resiliently. I thought this might be a thing. Our archers can't get line of sight. Like, we've got to kind of run after them here. Nevertheless, the enemy is now finally fully routing. Their whole force is running out of here. They're kicking a few of these guys and slash a few of these guys. But this battle's over, and this episode is over, right? This village here, Mareivan? I don't know, something like that. It's in Vlandia, and you can defend it too. Look at this. We have almost half our troops left. This is a devastating victory for us, considering that we're outnumbered by 20%. We have the same quality troops, and we mauled the enemy here. You too can win battles with similar results using tactics at this village. So hopefully this helps you, fellas. Hopefully you go out there and start dominating in your own game. Hopefully these things give you more tools in your tool bag, right? This way, if you're in a bad situation, you can find yourself a little village to defend, and life goes on. Next day you come back to the channel and you're like, damn, that shit worked, I fucked them up, and those are my favorite comments, fellas. All right, so I'm going to leave you with that. Thanks again for watching, fellas. I will see you guys next time.